Without any further ado, I would love to introduce to the stage Cherami Leigh.
Hi guys, how are you? Splendid. So before I jump into answering questions and all of that, I just wanted to thank you guys, since this is my last panel at the convention this weekend, because this has been such an incredible convention. You guys have been so warm and welcoming and full of love, and it has really, really made me feel so at home, so far from home. So thank you guys so much, honestly. I feel so at home here. I love it here, and I hope to come back again. This is my first convention that I've been to in England, and you guys have definitely made it the best experience possible. So if I do not get to see any of you later on today, I just wanted to thank you guys at the beginning of this panel. So thank you so much. Also, if you were not here yesterday, we did like half Q&A, half improv, and so I wanted to give you guys the option if you wanted to do that again, or we could do more Q&A or anything like that. If you would like to do all Q&A, raise your hand. If you would like to do half and half improv, half Q&A, well then that wins by an overwhelming majority. Okay, cool. So I guess we'll just jump into Q&A and then we'll do improv at the last half.
So when it comes to the question and answer phase of the panel, I'll be running around with the microphone. I'll be sticking in people's faces. When I'm moving around, when the question's being answered, I'll find someone else to try and get my attention, and I'll come and stand next to you and I'll nod to you and be like, "You're next," okay? Okay? Let's start!
And he runs like the wind.
I wouldn't say wind, that's a bit of a compliment. Any sort of wind.
That is not true. He's so quick. Hello.
If Sarada became Hokage, what do you think she would do?
Ooh, I mean, no offense to Naruto, but I think if Sarada became Hokage, she would be the best Hokage ever. I really hope that this show goes on for a long time. I hope we get to do it. And I hope she gets to realize her dream of becoming Hokage, because I think she'd be pretty epic. I don't know everything that she would do, but it would be all the good things. She might also put some restrictions on Boruto, just because we need to do that sometimes. Yes.
So, if you could have a contract with any of Lucy's celestial spirits, who would it be and why?
I can tell you who it would not be. It would definitely not be Taurus, because he makes me uncomfortable. And I would like to say it would be Cancer, but I get nervous about having scissors too close to my face when I'm not paying someone to cut my hair. So it would probably be either Loki or Aquarius or Virgo. Yeah, those would probably be my three faves. Virgo's kind of crazy, but she's always there. She's super loyal, and Aquarius is super fierce and powerful. And I don't know, there's something about Loki that I just like. He's a cool dude. Thank you. Hello.
Hello. So, I've got a question from Persona 5.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts playing Makoto, and wouldn't it be awesome if you actually owned a Johanna bike?
It would be awesome, but probably not for anyone else, because I'm sure I would be a danger to everyone around me if I owned Johanna bike. It was a magical experience. When I first started working on the game, when we first get cast in any project, we have no idea how long we're going to get to play that character. It could be a couple minutes, it could be a couple hours, and so they booked me for 2 hours, and I thought, well, I guess I'll be in and out, and at least I'll get to work on a Persona game. And then at the end of the session, they said, "Come on back, we got to reschedule you for more time." And I was like, oh, I get to come back. And it took probably 10 sessions before I said, how much longer do I get to keep coming back? Because I don't want to keep getting my hopes up that I get to do this again and again. And they said, oh, you've got thousands of lines. You'll be back. And apparently that was the experience with everybody who worked on Persona. Every day we'd get to go and record, and we thought that would be the end. And then they'd say, we got more for you, and we'd all get excited. It was a little like opening a present at the end of every session. So I got to play Makoto for months and months, which was really, really exciting. And so just the fact that everybody has loved the game and received it so well means so much to me. It's so cool.
Hi.
Hello.
I got to ask this to Bryce last year, so I'm hoping you might give the same answer.
Uh-oh.
SEO question.
Yes.
If all the girls in Kirito's harem had to fight each other, who's gonna win?
So Bryce better have said Asuna.
He did, I think he did.
What did he say?
I don't know if I should be telling you.
You could tell me. You could tell me.
He said it was definitely a toss-up between Asuna and Sinon, just because of the sniper rifle.
Yeah, that's fair. I will say a couple years ago we did a campaign for if somebody was going to be president, because we were doing it around the U.S. election, and it was right after Gun Gale had been announced, and so Sinon won, but she said Asuna was like 2 votes behind, and she thought Asuna was the best candidate for vice president, so I got to be vice president. To be fair, I don't think any of us would fight. I think if Kirito was like, hey, you guys fight it out, we'd all be like, no, bye, and we'd just be friends and leave him by himself. And I say that, and I love Kirito, so I don't think we'd fight each other. We'd just be friends. Hello.
I just want to start by saying thank you for coming and making my weekend awesome.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you guys for making my weekend awesome. This has been a blast.
You're welcome. Quick question. Do you have any tips for anyone who may be interested in getting into the industry?
Yes, I would say take as many classes as you possibly can, and anytime you have an opportunity to audition for something, as scary as it may be, as long as the role doesn't compromise your moral integrity and make you feel like you are going against what your soul wants, then I say go for it. And even if you don't feel like you're going to get the job, or you feel like you might not be able to handle the role at this point, you never know what's going to happen, and push yourself out there and grow. As an actor, you're going to be given so many opportunities and so many chances to try things out of your comfort zone, and we as actors are our greatest ally and our worst enemy, because we create the borders for ourselves of what we think we're capable of doing. So keep pushing those borders, and anytime after you have an audition, send it on its way, or do the audition, and then do something fun for yourself afterwards to remind you to let it go, because it's so easy to stew over it after we've created this piece of art and gotten to know this person and this character that we love so much. It can be difficult to let that go and know if you don't get cast, it's not the end of it. But I always say, if this is the one time that I get to play this character, if this is the only 5 minutes that I get to play this person, I'm going to make this the most fun for me, because I might not get to see this character again. And so I'm going to enjoy it for these few moments that I get to play this character. And if they say I got the job or I got a call back, then it's just bonus from there. I think you guys have... what are they? The only a pound stores? Yes. So that's one thing that I used to do when I first moved out to Los Angeles, and I was very tight on money. I would go to, we have dollar stores there, and I would find something very silly or fun that I could make a craft, or buy a fun little souvenir to take my mind off of an audition. So either go to a bookstore or draw a picture, or anything that you could do just to kind of get it out of your head, so you're not obsessing over it, because that can be so hard on our psyche and our soul, especially when we love these characters so much. Absolutely. Hello.
Hi. When you were doing confessionals, did you ever get out of control and you had to think we've got to pull it back, or
For Riley,
or just any of the people doing it? Bryce and Michael?
Well, my husband, John, was directing confessionals, and so when he was on camera playing Jimmy, I would direct him a little bit. I don't think we ever told anybody that they were out of control. I did feel a little out of control while we were producing things, so while I was acting as Riley, we were actually filming at a working convention. We filmed at SAC Anime, so I had panels that I was doing as Cherami and signings that I was doing, and then on my lunch break I would go run and change into Riley, and then we were talking to the hotel that had like guests, and they were running the hotel as usual, and we're filming in the lobby, and so I was being my actor self and Riley and being the producer, and there were a couple times that my mom was with me, luckily, and she's like, hey, by the way, you haven't eaten in like 6 hours. I was like, oh, that's why I'm dizzy. Thank you. So it got a little bit out of control just because there was so much going on, and that's why I'm so thankful that I have my mommy with me, because she makes sure that I eat and I don't lose my mind. She was also helping me do my hair and makeup and costume and all of that stuff, so moms and dads are the best. They make it all happen. Hello.
I believe you played Suzuha in Steins Gate.
I did.
What's your opinion on that?
I love Suzuha so much. She's one of my favorite characters, and Colleen Klinkenbeard, who plays Urza actually in Fairy Tale, she told me she wanted me to work on that show, and I don't think I auditioned. I think that's the one time I haven't auditioned for a role, and she said, I think that this is going to be one of your favorite characters. And I said, that's a really big statement, because I have a lot of favorite characters, and got to spend like 5 minutes with her, and I was like, she was right. It's such a great character. And then to get to come back and play her again for Steins Gate Zero and see how much she's grown as a character, and the relationship with her and her dad, and now with getting to hang out with her mom and also getting to voice her mom. It's been such a fun journey on that show, and I'll be sad when it ends, and hopefully it comes back again. I love time travel. You can always do things, even if people die in the show. It's time travel. We can come back and see them again. Anime is magical that way. Yes.
Hiya. Out of all the animes you've voice acted in, which one would have been your favourite?
Ooh, it's so tricky. My favorite is the last one that I've worked on, because I am so thankful to have a job, and so when it's fresh and I go in and record, and then as soon as I leave the booth, I'm so thankful to have gotten to have been an actor that day and play a character, that one is my favorite. And then the next day, the new show or the new game I work on, that's my new favorite. So it changes on a regular basis. So because the last session that I worked on before I came here, earlier in the day, right before I got on the plane, I worked on Steins Gate. So that show will be my favorite until I go back, and then Tuesday I'm working on a new show that I can't talk about yet, and that one will be my favorite on Tuesday. Yes, hello.
Just curious, when it comes to Digimon Adventure Try,
Yeah.
did you approach it, or did they seek out you?
That's a great question. So with Digimon, I felt a lot of pressure as it's such a beloved series. And I had worked with the company for a few other projects, and I had done Digimon, the series, random characters. I did Lopmon and a couple of other things. So they asked me if I would come back to play Biomon, because the original voice actor was not available to do Digimon Adventure Try. And so I was very excited, but also very, very scared, because Biomon is such a loved character, and the original actress will always be the original, and so I was a little intimidated. But getting to do that and getting to do Himakawa has been really fun, and it's been a great honor to be a part of Digimon, because I remember being very familiar with that show when I was growing up. So it's very surreal to work on it now. Hello!
Hiya. What was your favourite line from playing Patty and Solia?
Ooh, she has so many great lines. Probably my favorite is, Giraffe, giraffe, I'm gonna break your neck. That's probably my favorite because it's so absurd. Although getting to sing "Row, Row, Row Your Boat" in a round with myself, which I thought was a genius idea, and then realized the only way you can do a round is when someone else comes in to sing. And then when I realized I was by myself, I said verbally while I was recording the song, "This was a stupid idea," and then kept singing, and the director was laughing so hard I thought he abandoned me because he was on the floor and I couldn't see him. He was laughing. He was like, "You didn't think that through." I was like, "Not at all." But Patty wouldn't. She would just go for it. So that was fun. Hello.
Hi, yeah, I've got two things. First is, I just want to say that you and Caitlin Glass were like the two people from the first two anime I ever watched.
Oh, wow.
So I got some fan art for you.
Oh my gosh, thank you. Can I give you a hug?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So Fairy Tail was your first anime?
Well, that and Oran High School Host Club were my
Yes.
first two animes.
And Caitlin directed me in that show. This is adorable. You drew her eyes so cute. I love it. Thank you.
And the second thing is, what was your favourite character to actually kind of voice in general?
Ooh, it's so hard. They've all been so helpful to me and instrumental. They like came into my life at a time that I really needed them. So I don't know. It's so hard. They're like my friends, and they're the guardian angels that I have. That when I'm dealing with something in my life, I will get cast in a show that another character will tell me something that I need to hear, or I'll get to say something that I wish I could tell someone else, or that I need to say to myself. So they're all so important to me, and I love them all so dearly. Yes?
What was your introduction to anime?
My introduction to anime was in the States. On Saturday mornings they would play Sailor Moon. So that was the very first show that I saw, and I think around the same time my brother was going on Saturdays or on Sundays to comic stores and playing the Pokemon card game. And so my mom was taking him, and I remember I'm somebody much like Lucy, likes to collect all the keys. I like to just collect all of anything. So I had to collect Pokemon cards. And then I thought it would be cool if my brother and I could play together. I thought it might help us bond. And he was much better at the game than I was, and I'm very competitive, so it didn't really work out. And bringing us together, we kind of became arch nemesis because we both wanted to win. But Pokemon and Sailor Moon were my first introduction into anime. And then I remember a couple of friends watching Dragon Ball Z and playing the games, and I was like, well, this is interesting. This is anime too. I had no idea of the many different types of shows and the tons of anime that exist. When I first started working at Funimation on Peach Girl, I was very concerned that we were going to run out of shows. And they said, don't worry about it, it's going to be fine. There's a lot of anime out there. I was like, really? I thought it was just Pokemon, Sailor Moon, and DBZ. And they said, oh, sweet Cherami, just you wait. So I've been working with them for over 10 years, and we still haven't run out of shows. So it doesn't look like it's slowing down anytime soon, which is great. Hello.
Hi, I'm just asking, what was your experience voicing characters in the Fire Emblem series, especially a character like Sheeta, who was very beloved and didn't have a voice for quite a while?
Yes, intimidating, because Fire Emblem is such a huge, beloved franchise. And I remember, I think I auditioned for, well, when I auditioned, they were keeping the names very top secret, so they changed everything. So I think when I auditioned for Sheeta, it was Sheena. And so I was like, oh, they're making a new character. And no, that was not the case. So especially coming back with a character that has existed for so long, it was really intimidating. And then them saying, here's a couple more characters, and they've got to all sound different, but also still fit into this universe together and make their voices interact well. So it was very cool. I remember first signing the NDA and seeing Nintendo watermarked on the paper, and that was a very surreal experience because I grew up with Nintendo games, and so then getting to be a part of working on a Nintendo game was really, really incredible, and to have my first experience be with that series was kind of unreal. So, and they keep asking me to come back, and the characters are existing in other games, and that's really exciting to get to come back and visit those characters over and over again.
Hello again.
Hello!
If there's like any company who hosts an anime that you potentially wouldn't want to work on.
An anime that I wouldn't want to work on?
Yeah.
I don't think that exists. Well, I don't know. Some of the shows that I've seen where there's a lot of fan service, and I understand that exists in the world, but if it's so fan servicey that you kind of miss the story, or it doesn't have a plot, and the characters just exist for the gratuitous nature of fan service, that would be something I would seriously have to think about. Just because ultimately the reason I want to be an actor is to tell stories. So if the only reason that we're telling a story is for fan service sake, that would not be my favorite thing to do, because ultimately I want it to be about the characters, and I want it to be about their story, and I want it to be something that people can relate to on a deeper level or learn from. And that's usually why I pick the projects that I do. Is as I'm working on it, I say, if I'm a viewer, what am I taking home from this? Can I learn from this? Can this series make me feel better about myself or learn something about myself? And if the answer is no, then I usually don't want to work on it. But if I can look at it and say, wow, this could help somebody process this aspect of their life, or I really benefited from this, then I'm on board with working on it.
It's two questions if that's okay.
Okay.
The first one is, you've been in both, like, in front of the camera and obviously behind the mic and stuff. Which do you find the most, like, challenging, or which would you prefer?
I love doing both. I started doing film work and did not know that voiceover was a thing until I was a little bit older, and I love both. I think with one without the other, I feel very unbalanced. I was working on a film in Pittsburgh for 2 months, and I was not able to do any voiceover work, and the whole time I was recording, after about a week of filming, I'm like, man, I need to get in the booth and do some voice work. I miss it so much. And when I'm doing all voiceover work and no on-camera stuff, I really, really miss on camera. So at this point, I've been doing so much voiceover the last couple of years that I would say, man, I'd love to do some on camera. So that would be my preference right now. But I know if I was doing on camera, my preference would be, I want to do more VO. And I had a really cool experience last year doing motion capture for the first time. And now that's one more thing to add that I need for balance, because it's a little bit of both. I mean, they have markers all over my face and they're capturing my performance, so it's kind of like film, but it's showing up in a computer, and my little animated self is moving, and it's just like film, but it's a different character. And getting to see my facial expressions and my inflections and all of those things in a character that looks like me but is not me and has some differentiations is like a totally new experience. It's very, very cool. Technology is fascinating. Although everyone's saying, like, well, will they need actors anymore? Well, I hope so, because then I would be so sad.
And the second question was,
yeah,
how did Shane Dawson get you to star in Not Cool? Like, seriously, how?
So my when Not Cool was coming out, my agent got a breakdown. So the agencies get like a breakdown of all the characters for any movie that's coming out, and it was also being paired with the Starz series The Chair. And so I just sent in a tape. I had no idea that Shane Dawson was attached to it at the time, because they were keeping everything very top secret. So they just said it was a teen comedy. So I just auditioned like I would with any other project. And I got to go to the callback, and met Shane for the first time, and I was not totally familiar with everything that he had done. I knew a little bit of his characters. I knew that he was a famous YouTuber, but I didn't know how famous he was. And we did the callback situation, and it was like a screen test between Shane and I, and it was the first car scene that we have. And then I ended up leaving, and my agent called like 2 days later and said, they really want to offer you the part. Can you stay in Pittsburgh? And I said, yeah, I have family in Pittsburgh, actually. So I stayed with my family in Pittsburgh. They were so nice to let me live there. And Shane and the production company gave me a car so I could drive like an hour and a half to work every day. And it was a really great experience because it was the first time I've ever been the lead in a comedy. And it was my very first time working so closely with a YouTuber. And I know very little about the YouTube world, and seeing how hard he works and how genuinely talented he is and how genuinely kind he is. He cares about every single one of his fans. He cares about the work that he puts out, and his Shane persona of being just so crazy and wild, and he doesn't care about anything, and he's so confident. Then getting to see how sensitive he was and how much he cared and how insecure he was about whether or not people were going to like his work was really, really cool to see. To get to see the sensitive guy behind the big famous YouTuber. And we went a lot of the time to eat at the Cheesecake Factory and at Red Robin, which is a burger chain, and I found out the man loves sauces. So if you guys meet him, bring him a variety of sauces. He will love you forever. I think when we went to one of the restaurants, he said, how many sauces do you have? She said, we have 36. And he was like, I will tip you very well. Please bring me all of the sauces. And she was like, all of the sauces? I was like, the man said all the sauces. So he dipped one French fry in each sauce. He had to try them all. He's such a cool dude. And we found out we have the same birthday and the same middle name. And multiple times we would ask each other, like, what song are you thinking? And on 3 we would sing it. It was the exact same song. So we joked around that we were like twins. Hello.
With all the franchises you've voiced over the years, be it video games and also anime, it does result in, like, you know, many fantastic locations and areas, be fantasy or real. If you were trying to book a romantic getaway for you and your other half, is there any particular place amongst the franchises you'd love to go to personally, like, say, a week's holiday?
Oh my gosh, that would be so hard. I don't know. We've gotten to travel to some really cool places for conventions, but we usually get like 1 or 2 days of vacation, and the rest of the time is the con, and the con feels like a vacation anyway. I don't know where we would choose to go. He would probably, real or not, he would probably love to go to some place in a Pokemon world where he could see a lot of Pokemon, and that's fine. I wouldn't mind that. When you were first describing it, I was like, I would love to be in Jurassic Park, but if the dinosaurs could not try to kill me, that would be great. But I know that kind of defeats the purpose of Jurassic Park. That would probably be a vacation I would take with my brother, because John does not like dinosaurs, and my brother is a huge Jurassic Park fan. So probably Pokemon or dinosaurs. I would take a vacation by myself to Monet's house with the water lilies in the background, where he painted all the water lily paintings. That is like that is my quiet, zen, peaceful place that I dream to visit. So, hello.
In your time of working with Fairy Tale, was there any particular voice actor that you thought did really well at his or her job as a specific character?
It's so funny that you ask this. Anytime we get a new character into the world, especially if it's an actor that I know and I have been friends with, and they're playing a character unlike what I've seen them voice, I'm always super impressed. I remember when I first heard Caitlin with Evergreen, I was like, who is that? They were like, it's Caitlin. I was like, what? Oh my gosh, she fits her perfectly. Oh goodness, my art. And then Brian Massey played that huge guy with the voodoo doll that was like torturing Lucy. He did this one scream where he sounded like he was screaming as Brian, and then it sounded like a little tiny alien screamed too, so his voice like split. I don't know how he did that, but it sounded really cool. Chris Guerrero did a fantastic job. It's usually anytime I'm recording and somebody's in there before me and I don't know who they are, or I've never heard that character before. I'm so used to working with Colleen, who just is Urza, Natsu. I mean, obviously Todd is Natsu, and that was always going to be the case. Tia blows my mind as Happy. Newt's crazy good as Gray. And so I'm used to working with those guys, but anytime we get a guest actor in or a recurring character and I've never gotten to hear their work before, I'm so impressed. I mean, everybody has really brought their A game, and these characters are so fun to play. I usually have a moment in every session where I'm like, who is that? They are really amazing. I said that with Flair, actually. I think it's on tape. They had me film the first Grand Magic Games scene with Flair, and I think in the middle of my session, while they're filming me, I'm like, who voices Flair? Because she's killing the game. She terrifies me. So it's probably the answer is everybody. I love them so much. It's such a long show. Yes?
Do you think that the Boruto anime should have turned out the way it did?
Do I like the way it's turned out?
Yeah.
I am still watching it. I'm still on like episode 10. I'm moving really slowly through it. I waited before I started because I wanted to know if we were going to get to do the animated series, if we were going to get to dub it, because I was going to have a hard time watching it and imagine and getting excited about voicing Sarada if we weren't going to get to voice it. And then I was getting so tired of waiting, and I was hearing everybody talk about how good it was, that I said, I don't care if I don't get to voice Sarada, I have to watch this show. So I'm a little late to the game. Still don't know if we're going to get to voice it, but I couldn't wait anymore. And so far, on episode 10, I love it.
Hi.
Yes, hello.
So you've done a lot of stuff like games and animation, but you've also worked on stuff like NCIS and Bones.
Yeah.
Was there any celebrities that you really enjoyed meeting, like David Boreanaz or anything like that?
Yeah, I loved meeting and working with all of them, actually. Most people have experiences where they say, oh, I met so-and-so, and I must have met them on a bad day, they weren't very nice, or, you know, I wanted to meet them, and they're a hero of mine, and I met them in person, and it was a terrible experience. I have had nothing but fantastic experiences with every celebrity that I've met. Even David Boreanaz was really, really sick. I think he was dealing with a cold or the flu, and they said he's going to come in and shoot his scene, and then he's going to go back to the trailer and take a nap because he's got a couple of scenes to shoot today, so he won't be off camera to read with you. And I was like, that's totally fine, I understand. And then after he'd finished his stuff, he said, I really just, I like working with you, and I want to be here, so I'm going to stick around if that's okay. And he did not have to do that. He was more than generous. They were going to have somebody sit in and read for him, but he went above and beyond for me so that I could have the most authentic moment working with him, which is kind of insane for that man who's been on that show for so long to not feeling well to be willing to do that for me. And so I have not had a bad experience with anybody, which is very cool. Hello!
You did an amazing job on TUI.
Oh, thank you!
And I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
If you had a chance to create your own anime, what would it be called and what would it be about?
Oh, man. Well, the one that just came to my mind, I think I talked to you guys earlier in the weekend about my show Love and Light that's on Anime Unlocked. And so I think I would do an anime called Love and Light, but it would be sort of like a ghost hunt vibe, ghost hunt medium kind of a thing where there's a lot of people that are coming in from other dimensions, famous people and otherwise, and my character would get to talk to them and learn about what it was like in those other dimensions or that other time period and work to better the world that she is in now. I think that would be pretty cool. Clearly I'm a history nerd.
Hi. So if there was any character, past or present, in any film, any anime, any game that you could play live action, who would it be?
Oh, man. I have no idea. I just would love to play some sort of superhero or supervillain in some sort of comic universe. I don't know / or care what that looks like. I just think that would be really cool. Because I want to be able to do an epic fight scene and be intimidating, and I can't do that in reality, so I need someone to stage it, light it, teach me some cool choreography, and put me up in some sort of flying apparatus so I can safely look like I can save the world, because I'm too silly to try to do that in real life. I would injure myself or someone else.
So we're down to the last 15 minutes of the panel.
Oh, perfect. So, do you guys want to do last-minute questions, or should we jump up and do some improv for the last 15 minutes? Improv! Sweet. If you have any other questions and I did not get to you, I will be at the table, I think immediately after this, so you can come meet me there. Sweet. So, for improv, do you guys want to do the same games that we did yesterday, or different games? Different games. Okay, there is a game that I need 3 people up here. Yes?
You and you. Yes, you.
So, this is called Three-Headed Professor or Three-Headed Expert. You guys hop up on the stage, the 3 of you. We in the audience are going to ask you guys questions, and you get to respond in 1 word to create the sentence. So there is no wrong, again, improv, no wrong answer, no wrong word. So if I were to ask you, why is the sky blue? And the first person says the, next person sky, next person is, next person blue, next person because, and the next person says pancakes, which I think was the random word that I gave you guys yesterday, so you can tell where my brain's at. Because pancakes, that's the answer. Perfect. So that is how this game works. So I will give you guys this microphone, and we'll ask them a couple questions, and we'll see what this 3-headed expert can tell us about life. Oh, first, does anybody, oh, you can get a 3rd one? Sweet. Okay. We'll get 1 more mic, and then.
Testing. Oh wow, this is cool. This is loud. Oh, I have a booming voice.
That's a powerful mic. So does anybody have a question they want to ask them? Yes, Ryuji. What is your question?
Dude, do you think Godzilla could actually exist?
Do you think Godzilla could actually exist?
I
think Godzilla
could
not exist
in
the world
because
anime.
Yes! So clearly you guys have acted before, because usually the first time we play this game, it is like so painful and everybody is very stressed and they overthink it. You guys clearly should be doing this all the time if you're not, because that was fantastic.
Thank you.
So you guys get how the game works. Next question. Yes?
How does One Piece end?
How does One Piece end? Oh, yes!
1,000 hours
Leah.
The ship
by
sea falls
to
the bottom
of
the pancake.
You know what? For One Piece, I would not be shocked if that's the end of the show.
No, it wasn't by sea.
I will throw some Persona 5 reference in if I can.
You're gonna do it. It's gonna be great. Next question. Do you have another question to ask them? Yes.
Where does Akechi's fascination with pancakes come
Yes! Thank you.
Akechi's
love of
pancakes
comes from
his
hentai.
Oh my god. I knew that detective was hiding something.
I mean, he's an expert. Okay, so we've done 3 questions so far. We'll do 2 more and then we'll switch it out so that other people can come up and play. Yes?
Yes. How did you get to Sunnycon?
We
got to
Sunnycon
via spaceship
and
cowboy spaghetti.
Morgana.
Wow, looking cool, Joker!
Cowboy spaghetti.
This is a Cowboy Bebop reference.
That must.
It was trying to be a Cowboy Bebop reference.
Well, but Cowboy spaghetti must be 1,000 hours later after Cowboy Bebop ends. It is Cowboy spaghetti. Because why not?
I can see it.
A
whole I can see it now.
Beautiful. Last question, then we'll switch it up. Yes.
Why is water wet?
Why is water wet?
Water is wet because of the sky. Well, it's honest.
Very true.
Sweet, you guys did awesome. Give them a round of applause. Three-headed expert with another three-headed expert. We'll switch it out. Good. Okay, raise your hand. I need 3 more people. Yes, Makoto. Yes, you and the lovely ensemble. Who are you dressed as? You look fantastic.
Sarah Victoria.
There you go. Come on up here. And yes, with the gray sleeve. And I think you're wearing a mask.
There you go, Sticker Man.
You're Sticker Man. I take it back. I want to play Sticker Man in a movie. That's what I want for my life. Okay. So how much time do we have? Do we have time for 10 more minutes? Okay, cool. Cool. So who has a question for this three-headed expert? No such thing as wrong questions. Yes.
Why is Joker the main character in Persona 5?
Joker
Is
the
main character
in
Persona because
is
spaghetti.
Okay, yeah. And he is sometimes for some people. I imagine when he dances, he's pretty limber and like noodly. So that works. Yes, Sarda.
What is the best Pokemon?
The best is clearly
wow.
Pikachu?
Yeah, but I could do that. I'm gonna offend people.
You can even make one up. It's up to you.
Tentacle.
Tentacle! Yes!
That's just tentacle.
I'll hook you up.
Sweet. One more, a couple more questions. Yes. Wearing a green hat, green onesie. Oh, you were asking a question. Okay, you were just jesting. Yes. With the glasses and the blue. Yes.
What's your opinion on EA's loot boxes?
What was that?
The loot boxes in EA, the EA games and loot boxes.
What is your opinion on EA
Like
games?
loot boxes in EA.
Loot boxes.
Loot boxes in EA. Okay.
In loot
boxes
from EA.
They
contain overpriced
items.
Don't
buy them.
Beautiful. Yes.
Who's the best wife?
You stole my question.
Clearly, it's pick an anime.
Yes.
Makoto, obviously.
Me! Yay! Oh, that was beautiful. Okay, one more question. Yes.
What's the meaning of life?
Meaning of life clearly
is 42.
Sweet. Do you guys want to do one more round of this game?
One more.
Sweet. Okay, 3 more experts. Yes. Who has not gone up here? Yes, you in the back, raising your hand very tall. Yes. And yes, come on up here. By the way, these questions are glorious.
Thank you.
Thank Okay, Sarah's got a question ready to go. I'm so nervous. Okay, are you ready, three-headed expert?
Think so.
Perfect, this will be great. They're totally on the same page. Yes.
How amazing is Cherami?
Oh, that's so nice.
Cherami
Is
very amazing.
Aww.
because
She loves
voice acting.
True. Yay. If it was my friends doing that, they would have been like, Cherami is not amazing. And that would have been the answer.
I was tempted.
My husband would have been like, good.
Cherami needs to praise me.
Yes.
Why doesn't Senpai notice me?
that
Is
because he
hates
you.
ruined.
Yes.
Savage.
Do you like pineapple on pizza? Oh! Stop bringing the edgy questions. Come on!
Pineapple
On
pizza is
a travesty.
I'm not hearing as much applause as I expected. I'm proud of you all.
But it's personal preference.
That's true. Good disclaimer.
you like it, you like it, you don't like it, you don't like it.
Fair enough.
It does not belong on pizza, I just say.
Why is Edward so short?
Why is Edward so short?
That
Is
because Edward
is
someone who
suffers
with height
yes.
That was beautiful time. Well done. This is like a gigantic improv sketch. It's beautiful. I suffer from height. I too suffer from height. I get it.
6'5".
Oh my goodness. You must be how Edward views himself in real life.
You know that
Not how
stormtrooper
we
just bangs his head on the
yes. Bring down the mail, please. Go.
What was the question?
this
is
because
you cannot
do pineapple
pizza.
True. So it just said the first thing that came to my mind.
That's perfect. That's how it works. Yes.
Blueberry pineapple pizza.
That needs to be a song. When is the best time to watch me? When is the best time to watch me?
The
Best
time to
watch
memes is
when
you are
masturbating.
going to think.
I have no boundaries. I cannot be stopped. You gave me the microphone, sir.
And I can ban you. I'm not going. I got a boo for that one. I'm not a pantomime villain. Wait, does that mean I get to finally do the evil voice I've been practicing for generations? Filthy peasants. But no, we've got just enough time, I think, for either one more new game or one more round of this.
Ooh, do you guys want to do one more round of this? Yeah. Okay, 3 more people. Yes. Quick boy, go. Yes, come on up here. Yes. Yes.
Tone, you better be good. My childhood's at stake.
Keep it G-rated.
I'll try.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, who's not asked the question would like to? Yes.
What is the best anime?
The best anime might be totally undecided. Because it's far too long and really episodemic.
Okay, fair enough. I like that this is the diplomatic three-headed professor. Yes.
Where am I? How did I get here?
You are at Sunnycon Expo 2018.
What a genius professor. Yes.
Why is the world flat?
You have to be that person. The Romans made it flat because trebuchets. Big trebuchets, I'm just saying.
Very good. Anybody has not answered or asked a question? Yes, you're in front of the sticker man. Shut it now.
You might have to repeat that.
Because the woman with the jacket was like, he's the best fighter.
I require a microphone.
My short-term memory is medically proven to be broken.
How long do you think it'll be until Ram realizes that Koen and Shinichi are Mentante Pro?
We'll get answering expert.
It's quite unspecified. Because complicated. Unanswerable. If that's even a word.
It is now. It is what.
Do it.
Good answer. There we go. Yes.
Hi again.
Hi.
Who's the best husbando?
This is good.
You don't even need a professor for that one. The best
Husbando.
would be me. It's all three of us, all one entity, that's why.
You all win. Perfect. Well, that does it for our three-headed expert and the panel. Thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
I have 3 microphones. I can talk 3 times as loudly. And also cause feedback in a heartbeat. This is a very dangerous thing. Please do. But no, can we have a big round of applause for Cherami Leigh, please?